Crônicas, do Caos. When they ask about my father, I tell them he wasn't a dentist. He was cracking private safes at banks down on Paulus Hunter. Money from the tax man. People who kept their fortunes buried inside their plans with grenades. He wrote a story they never put in comic books. An anti-hero that Marvel and DC never had to look. In a world of single mothers, he wasn't just another coward. They painted him a monster, wanted posters on the street. A bounty on his head, a name they wanted to defeat. But he showed us son that crime never pays. A lesson written in blood through his dangerous days. If you never stood against the system with a Glock in your hand, I'd probably be the voice warning you from a phone call again. We're coming through, watch out for the cops. Behind the walls, he broke the rules in the prison system, moved the legal weight to a son of Jay's education. In the news, they showed a dangerous criminal face. To me, he was a man who fought through a hopeless place. How many privileged kids would have the courage to hold it in just so their child could have chance at a better system? But the investigators bullet never let him to my graduation, never let him witness the result upon a sacrifice and dedication. You didn't deserve to die at the hands of the police.
With the scars of his wars, he was a Superman, he was an Iron Man, but he protected me the best way that he can between police bullets and torture beyond. And when they roll forward with the scars of his wars, he was a Superman, he was an Iron Man, but he protected me the best way that he can between police bullets and torture beyond.
If man rolled forward with the scars of his wars, I would have been ashamed if he was stealing from the church, using people's faith just to make your own money work. If you created fake diseases just to sell a cure, manipulated elections to make your power secure. If you built cheap products just to sell them twice, making people buy again with a corporate disguise, you were more honorable than politicians preaching family values. While living double lives behind expensive houses, the contradiction is your hands were locked in chains by the same system that creates streets filled with pain. You signed things, they called you guilty while rich criminals buy their freedom when the price is filthy. The man who judges you isn't better than you, he feels the same machine that creates what you do. Private planes, carrying tons of cocaine, protected by phones and money behind the game. I call him survivor when he breaks into a lottery place, trying to force open a steel door in desperation space. Extreme poverty creates extreme decisions while investigators track every transmission. I never had toys, never went to Disneyland, but I had the greatest example of a father. He taught me a father protects his children, even if the world sees him as a villain. You should've won awards from economic magazines for taking stolen wealth and helping broken families breathe. Instead of diamonds bought from suffering overseas, you bought food, notebooks, clothes, things a child needs. Even wearing prison clothes, you kept your dignity. You never manipulated people through publicity. You did the internet critics talking from behind screens. You were more than the labels they placed on your name. You never made me beg on streets for money. You kept me away from drugs and everything ugly. Sent me to school, taught me not to drink. You gave me a chance when the world said I would sink. You wouldn't have been called a criminal if you owned a corporation. Like those responsible for disasters, destroying generations. I understand the words of Mario Puzo's vision. Every fortune has a dirty side hidden in its creation.
And when they cried forward with the scars of his wars, he was a Superman, he was an Iron Man, but he protected me the best way that he can between police bullets and torture beyond.
At my graduation ceremony, I said, I'm standing here because my father destroyed a cash machine with dynamite, and I threw my graduation hat into the sky because I learned the Father's love can come from the most broken places in life.